Alright, what's up guys? Starting late, took a nap. You know how it is. I'm not sleeping good at night, but I'll sleep really good during the day when I take my nap. But I just cannot sleep at night for some reason. So it's 2:30, which is real late. But so yesterday we began adjusting the server-side main while loop to conform to unique requirements of server-side logic. Did not finish going through the entire section to determine all unique differences and requirements. Noted these requirements and things to do, as well as caution comments in associated sections. Okay, so that's where we're going to pick back up. So we stopped right here yesterday. Okay, and this is what we were doing. We were so this is replacing the below section, and so we have this is in server side. Okay, let's read it. I see. After copying the main while loop from Canasta Certify, I realized there are some unique requirements that Certify needs to meet. This is one of them. We must ensure that we are sending to other con as well as current con. Since this was copied from client by and doesn't send to other con, the copy did not include this audio. The double comment section is how it previously existed here before copying from client by. I need to fix this and ensure when we do mirrored identical function creation, this is accounted for. Okay. Yeah, so I need to leave that comment even after I refactor this. We have data equals pickle.domes, current client, message head equals message header data, in.send of message head plus data socket. Okay, so the difference here, so on the server side, we used con.sendAll and then other con sendAll. So this line is the same, and then this line is the same, but instead of doing network send message head message header. So message header, this is the function. Where is this function at? Okay, so we import message header from network. Okay. Well, okay, so we do that for both of them actually. I'm tripping. So con send all versus n.send. So it's just a different method for sending. So I'm like, actually, couldn't we just keep this? Is there anything wrong with just keeping this as it is? I don't think there is anything wrong with it. I think we could just keep this as it is. I think we have to refactor that. Yeah, the only difference is this, instead of doing n.send message head plus data socket, we say con.sendAll message head plus data. And then other con send all. And I don't really, honestly, I really don't know the difference between send and send all. Like, I know there is a difference, and I looked it up before, but I don't really know the practical difference between the two. So let's see. Let's ask ChatGPT. Okay. Actually, it's not that important. I'll just ask Gemini. Python, what is the difference between send and send all? It didn't hear me correctly, but I bet it gets it right anyway. Python's networking functionalities, you'll encounter two methods related to sending data over sockets: send and send all. Here's a breakdown of what each does. Send data and take some flags, and then this function send attempts to send a portion of the data provided in the data argument to the connected socket. Return value. Send returns the number of bytes actually sent. Okay? This value might be less than the length of the data you provided if the socket's buffer is full or there are network limitations. Okay. Use case. Send is suitable when you want to gradually send data and potentially handle situations where not all data can be sent at once. You might need a loop and call send again with the remaining data if the return value is less than the total data length. Now send all. Function send all attempts to send the entire data provided in the data argument to the connected socket. Send all blocks until all the data is sent or an error occurs. This means your code execution will pause until the entire data transmission is complete. Okay. Send all doesn't return a value when successful. If an error occurs during transmission, it will raise an exception. Send all is ideal when you need to ensure all the data is sent reliably before continuing with your program's execution. It's commonly used for sending critical information or complete messages. Yeah, I think we actually have to use send all. Like, I'm not 100% sure on that, but I feel like we need to. So send doesn't block, according to Gemini anyway. So I think we would probably go with send all just to be safe. Okay. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna get rid of what added. This is how this section existed before client pi surviving while loop. Alright, so we're going to delete this. We're going to delete this. And then we're going to delete this. And I would like to say we can just leave this as it is. Data equals pickle.dumps, current client, message head equals message head equals message head data, and then con.send all message other content. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure. End it right there. Okay. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that should work as it is. What is next? Okay, so now we just need to go through server versus client and through the main while loop and see if there's anything else that is unique to server. So I know one of them is this with the ready select, then there's the other one with other con, sending to other con, and actually I can just below two lines are different. Copy. There we go. Yeah, I think that's probably the only difference. And we won't receive in terms of, we won't, from the server side, we'll never actually receive in terms of other client, isn't that right? Yeah, we'll never receive in terms of other client from the server side, but that doesn't actually matter. The way that the section is coded, it will determine that. It will like assign it right here, basically in this current or other, or yeah, is this for receive? Yeah, this is for receive. Yeah, so it will check the current object's ID. So, you know what we could do? I could add in logic right here that checked, or like instead of if current object ID is equal to current client ID, I could also say or server side and have a server side arg and have that be set to true if we're calling it from the server side, the eventual function. But I mean, is that even really going to save us any time? I don't think so. The computational power is going to be probably about the same. So we'll just leave it as it is. It's not a big deal. It would be a negligible difference, I think. Yeah, so I think we're good, actually. Let's just scroll through real quick and see if something catches my eye. Okay, well this is going to be different. Isn't there a way to... Yeah, so this one is going to be different. Because it's going to say client or server. And this is not a huge deal, but we can make it dynamically assigned to say either CL for client or SE or SER for server. And I'm pretty sure you get that from the stack trace, or the stack or whatever. I'm not super familiar. In Python, how do you extract the file name from the stack? Let's see if it knows I'm talking about Python. Even though it didn't hear that I said Python at first, it just heard. Okay, yeah, so it's showing for Python. There are several ways to extract file name from a stack trace or stack. Depending on the programming language or environment, here are some general approaches. Regular expressions, if the stack is a string. So it involves using regular expressions to search for the file name. Let me... So it assumes this function is called from the target function. So whichever function calls it, whichever file it is called from, it's going to give that file name. Frame is equal to inspect.stack at index 1. File name equals frame.filename. Return file name. if the name is equal to main, file name equals get current file. Current script file name. Okay. Okay, that's easy. Cool. So I'm gonna use that actually. Okay, so this is gonna be, let's actually do this in a test file. Let's go to test reminder. And let's see. Okay, so we're gonna import inspect, and then we're gonna have, oops, what did I do? Okay. I got this backwards. Alright, there we go. Import inspect, and why did it go all the way to the top? We don't want to know about Drizzt swords right now. Alright now. Alright. I don't know how that like happened, but it did. Ooh. Wait, this is different. Oh, using exception handling. This versus be trigger relies on raising and catching exception. Okay, yeah, we're not doing that. This one is more simple. Yeah, very straightforward. So we're gonna do inspect.stack at index 1, and then that's the frame. So we can say inspect at stack.1. We'll call this the frame. We'll do it like they did. And then file name equals frame.filename. And then, yeah, we'll just print file name. Print file name, very straightforward. And then run the script. Uh-oh. It said, oh, you have to run. You don't have to do it in a function. Let's try like this. List object attribute has no file name. Okay. Let's print this frame. I want to see what this is. Print frame. Okay, there's our frame. Frame info. Frame, so it's a list. And it's got frame equals frame at this memory location. So, and then, so 0 is the frame. So it's a list containing a tuple, or this is a function. I don't know. I'm confused a little bit. But anyway, so we have some sort of iterable, like a tuple or whatever. It says frame equals frame, and then file, and then it gives us the line, then it gives us the file name. So that's actually, file name is actually index 0, 1, 2, 3. So it's actually 3. at index 3. So let's print frame at 3. Index out of range. Okay, let's try this again. Print frame at 0. Okay, so frame at 0 is the, okay, is this entire thing. So there's actually only, there is no index 1 for this frame, but I guess that's because we're calling it directly instead of from a function. If we were, okay, so a frame, see, that's my fundamental misunderstanding here. I don't really understand what a frame is. Python, what is a frame? I don't know why it can't hear me very good. It's only Gemini has trouble hearing me. Understanding what I'm saying. The term frame in Python can have a couple different meanings depending on the context. Here are two common interpretations. Stack frame. In the context of function calls and debugging, a frame refers to a data structure used by Python to keep track of information about a function call during program execution. Each time a function is called, a new frame is pushed onto the call stack. Okay, yeah, that's right. So the main frame, or root frame, or whatever you call it, is just like when you're not calling it from a function. So that would be inspect.stack at index 0. But then if you turned this snippet of code into a function called like get file name or whatever, and then you called it from this frame, when it entered into that function, it would be in a different frame. So then that would be a frame at index 1, if I understand that correctly. So if I understand it correctly, let's just test that. So we're going to say def get file name, and we're going to move this code into get file name, and then we're going to call get file name. And now, if we print frame at index 1, we're not going to get an error. But if we copy this and do print frame, oops, that's ended correctly. Now, if we do print frame 1 here, there is no frame 1. See, it throws an error. So a frame is basically like the space in which a function operates, I guess, something like that. Okay, so I understand that. Each time a new function is called, a new frame is pushed onto the call stack. The stack keeps track of the order in which functions were called. So whenever you have a traceback, when you have an error, that is using the call stack to show you the train of function calls when you're doing debugging, whenever you get an error thrown. A frame typically contains information like local variables, arguments passed to the function, the bytecode instructions of the function, and then information about the caller function. When a function finishes executing, its frame is popped from the stack and control returns to the caller function. When a function finishes executing, its frame is popped from the stack, and control returns to the caller function. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Alright, I understand that. So now, let's see what this does. Okay, so we need, there we go. Okay, so that's our file name. We did inspect.stack at index 0, and then file name is equal to frame.filename. So if we want to get only the actual file and not like the entire directory, like the entire file name, including all of the parent directories and stuff, we just want the actual file it's called from. So we would go in reverse, and let's see, what is the type of the file name? So if we print type of file name, it's a string, okay? So we're going to so basically we would say, like, if we say if client in file name, then we could say that file equals client. We could just say file short string is equal to client pi, and then else file short string is equal to se pi per server. Yeah, so that's going to be our solution right there. So we're going to copy this. Actually, I'll leave this here. But reminder that a frame is a reference point from a function call. When you call a new function, a new frame is created, and the entire stack or stack frame is the train of function calls. To get the file name, use the below code. Note that if you want to access a particular frame, you use a different index after dot stacked. X. I suppose -1 would be the last stack, 0 being the root stack. Alright, and we'll call this stack frame file name 3024. Alright, cool. So now we can not inspect, now we can copy this code. We can minimize this, open this up all the way, and so right here we're going to go ahead and, of course it messes up the indentation because, oops, that's just what it do. Okay, import inspect frames. So import inspect, we can do this way at the top if we haven't already. Let's see. Yeah, we haven't done it, so we're gonna go to the top. This is 180. And import inspect. So we use traceback. What's the difference between? Because well, it says we don't actually use this. So traceback, how do we use that in where is it? A custom logger. Okay, so we use traceback, but we don't use inspect. Inspect.stack. Okay, at 2. Okay, so we do use it indirectly. So it is actually used. Ooh, so that's tricky. It actually, if we remove this and try to run, it's not gonna work because it's not gonna recognize when we evaluate it. Ah, so this, you can't always trust this when it's not highlighted, which that's VS Code's way of telling you a variable or a namespace is not being used. Like you define it or import it, but you don't actually ever use it. It'll be like, see how this one's darker and this one's highlighted? These two are highlighted. Yeah, that's not actually reliable though, because like in this case, inspect is used, but it's used in an eval. So yeah. Anyway, don't trust that, but I don't think we actually do use inspect here in this file. Let's check. Let's see, inspect dot. Okay, the only place we would use it is there, but traceback is the one I was talking about. Traceback dot. And we don't actually use traceback dot. So because I got rid of that. Traceback. Make sure I spelled it right. Traceback dot. Yeah, we don't use it. But in custom logger, I'm guessing we do use it. Yeah, we do. Okay. And that's why I had it here, because we were using it, because we were like we were doing that locally instead of importing it from the custom logger. So we can get rid of that. And now we're gonna go back to inspect dot, and we can get rid of this blank space. Now we're going to frame is equal to inspect stack at 0 file name. We can turn up file name, and then we don't want to print the file name. Then we just say if client is in file name, file short string is equal to client pi, else file short string is equal to server. Very simple, very straightforward, I believe. Yeah, alright. But now we have to put if we are operating from the client file, and this is if we are operating from the server. Now we got copy file short string, and then right here, instead of putting just client pi, we're gonna put brackets and then file short string. So now it will dynamically assign or variably assign that string. It will, so it'll say client if it's called from client, server if it's called from server, and that's something that I'm going to want to add into the other file as well, so that they're both mirrored and exactly the same. And then right here, well, no, that can stay because we still are receiving in terms of the client. Yeah, so this is good. All right, so we're gonna copy this because we modified it, and now we're going to go to client and find this section. So here's a way I can do this. I'm gonna highlight this line. I'm going to go over here. Well, actually I need to copy it. So we're going to copy this line. We're going to go back to client. We're going to do Control F. We're going to paste that in. There we go. So we found that section. Now we're going to highlight this from the other div to this div under the custom logger call. We're going to copy that, and then we're going to do the same section here. We're going to highlight from here to, that's different. Oh, because it's, well, duh, because it's missing it. Silly. And yeah, so I think that's gonna do it. And then we'll just hit Control V. And of course it changed the indentation, because why wouldn't it? I don't know why it does that. It does. I don't remember the Atom editor doing that. I don't know if it always did that, but it definitely does in VS Code. So now let's make sure they conform to one another. And I don't think it's file to file matching for highlighting. That would be cool. If I could highlight this, and if this file was the same, it would highlight it as well. But, oh yeah, we didn't import inspect. We need to go and import and inspect. And actually, I'm going to add this comment real quick. So I put below section added 43024 uses the frame to, or rather, uses the stack frame to get the file name. This is necessary because we are using this mirror, this main while loop code in both client and SE. Dynamically assigns the file name to be passed to the trace back print log function for accurate logging. Alright, now we're gonna, and I like that comment, so I'm gonna give it my double star of approval. The double star. And yeah, now we just need to import inspect to client. So we'll go all the way to the tippity top. We're gonna get rid of traceback. Let's just make sure it's not used. Traceback dot, and it is not used. What about eval? Eval traceback. It's even not used with eval traceback. So now we're just gonna get rid of this. We're gonna change it to be import inspect. So now we import inspect, and we should be good to go. So let's copy this line. Let's go over here, Control F, go to that line. Okay, now you can see it's greened out. It's not white anymore, which means we imported inspect successfully. So now we'll be able to use it. Okay, now let us go on to the next thing, and that's going to be, we're just going to keep, okay, so this is the start of the main while loop. Let's just go line by line. Okay, so we do have this ready. That's different, but we already acknowledge that that is the case. Select, that's like, so this one is different. Learn this file, so if I use done. One in this. This line in main while loop uses con and serve while the mirror compile line uses network socket. Okay. Copy this one. So I want them to be as identical as possible so that when we make it into a function, it's going to be nice and clean. We're not going to have, you know, issues, any bugs, which is what we want. Alright, so something that we do probably need to do is update the step by step, because I'm pretty sure that's not up to date. Well, this is actually done. Start data transfer modification receive section. Why is we already have start receive section, so this can go away. Okay, I was seeing if you could do multi-cursor between two different files, but you can't, because I was going to modify both of the files at the same time since they're identical, but you can't do that. It won't let me do that. Wouldn't that be cool? I could probably make an app for that. I could probably make an add-on. I mean, okay, added for collapsibility to below step-by-step section, so I don't always have to scroll past to look at it. Removed after DTM is finished. And actually, no, I'm not going to remove after DTM is finished. I want to keep it because it will give me a quick overall summary of what it does, you know? So let's read through it real quick. If we want to read the step by step, let's try to line them up as best we can. Okay, there we go. So prep. Send side. Determine which attributes you need to create timestamps for. Okay, that can be removed. Because that was like. Need review. See line 186 Clever says we probably won't need timestamp data for the deck object adders because they're only altered locally server side. Create a timestamp logic for all accounted for adders via inside of calculated properties, direct arguments of our logic. And that's something I probably need to do now, is make sure that I've accounted for everything. And by everything, I mean make sure that I've accounted for all of the attributes that need to be transferred, and that they're all actually being transferred. But this is actually can be removed from the step-by-step. We're gonna change. Where did it go? And this is gonna be changed. So below steps, modified 43024. A summary of the data transfer system's order of operations. I'm going to say a brief, broad summary of the data transfer system's order of operations. Yeah, that sounds better. And then we go all the way to so let's copy that line, paste that one in, and then we got rid of all these up to step 2A. Okay. And then this is on the send side. When adder is changed inside calc property, direct assignment, calc by logic, append data point change to independent. You know what? I'm like, do we need this? We don't really need it. We can keep it. It's fine. I can keep it. Let's just finish it. We'll keep it. So first of all, let's indent them, and then we have the. So when adder is changed, append data point change to associated independent C1, C2 attribute list. Okay, that is correct, and that is actually step 1 now. Create current timestamp using time per counters, then append the data change specifics to the associated property format. This one, and then 1A. Just put inside. When adder is changed, inside calculated direct assignment, appends data point change to associated in the proper tuple format. Now we can get rid of that. Append data point change format containing the timestamp adder name, data, etc. And then begin iteration through any adders change, and then begin iteration through C1, C2 changed attribute list. Determine based on client ID number correct associated attribute associated change attribute list and begin iteration through it, calling dir check to determine if data should be sent or removed from list and not sent. Okay, and then call dir check once we're investigated. Okay, and then logic inside dir check challenge was, yeah, we already, it's fine. And then step makes us security. So that, and then this will be step number begin iteration through correct associate change attribute list and make a copy of it. And assign current client change attribute list to a copy of it. And then begin iteration through copy. Calling dir check to determine each iteration to determine if specific data and change should be sent or removed from this. And then make associate, we already did that. Then we send the client object. Then we remove all sent data, iterate through copy, removing all sent data, from the actual C1, C2 change attribute list. Okay. And this is actually step Y. And then on the receive side, store inc data and receive object list, which is actually receive object dict, I'm pretty sure now. Yep. Okay, and Then step number 7 is going to be iterate through the received data dot change attribute list. Yep, and that's the correct name. Okay, and then step 8 is gonna be sort the ink timestamp list from other timestamp lists using a simple function. And then we apply the data in order of timestamp if it has been at least 3 seconds since perception. Specific data. And then step 10 is to depopulate the ink timestamp list as the data is applied. And then we will check to see if any more instances of data point changes on the same client object. Exist in ink timestamp list. If so, if none remain, remove client objects from receive object list. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's good. Oops, this has got to be... There we go. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick little break. I'll be back in like 5. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so let's just keep going here. Okay, that's it, guys. That's why is this like? Why is this like darkened? I don't understand. Started calling. Wow, true. Okay. Oh, because it's never broken out of. I see. I see. Right. Okay. Um. Damn. So I do need to actually add that exception back in. I'll put I'll put this as Well, no, I think a try accept would be the way to go. Okay, so I'm gonna have to do game testing to determine which exceptions are thrown whenever a client DCs to add in the proper exception. We don't want to catch every exception. That's true. This is meant to only catch exceptions caused by a client DC. Okay. Yeah, that's good. I'm quite sure it's best practice to have this within if name is equal to main before doing this. Ensure it won't cause any bugs. Shouldn't we have if name is equal to main for security verification for the rest of the code and file to be executed? Yeah, I mean, I think that's just like the proper way, the convention or whatever you would call it. It's like best practice. I mean, we don't import server anywhere else, but it's still best practice, I think, to do that. Does this actually fix a bug? Currently not sure. I can't remember if that actually like fixed a bug. Oh, see, so you can use sys to get the frame instead. Oh, so instead of grabbing frame, let me see this. Hold up. So if we, let's see, let me try. I knew there was a different way. I couldn't remember exactly at the time, but so let's get rid of that, and then we're also going to import sys, and now we're going to do let's do sys.getFrame, and I want to see what the difference is. Let's print sys.getFrame, and then let's print frame. Sysframe equals sys.getFrame. I want to see if these are the same or if they're different. Okay, so sys get frame gets the inspect. So frame is equal to inspect a stack at 0, but get frame is even more specific. Like, well, it's more focused, I guess I should say. It gets the frame, the file, and then the line, but it doesn't get the, it doesn't give you the, well, what's the difference between file and file name, actually? Yeah, I think basically sys get frame is meant for getting like the information that you would actually need when you're accessing the frame, as opposed to like all of the metadata or whatever, like every little bit of information. Because technically I feel like I could use get frame at index 1 to get the file. So let's try that. Let's try file name is equal to frame of file name, and we're gonna print file name here, and then we're gonna do sys frame file name equals sys.getFrame or sysFrame at index 0, 1 at index 1, and then we're gonna print file name, sys file name. So we're gonna print sys file name, and let's see what we get here. Okay, sys file name sysFrame at 1. It says the frame object is not subscriptable. Oh, you have to call it's an attribute. So there's probably a get frame dot, let's see, dot f, let's see, file, let's see if f file is 1. It has an attribute f file. Let's see. Python. Tell me, Gemini. Use your magic. Tell me what this is. Tell me the attributes. Save me a Google search. The sysGetFrame level 0 is an internal function within the sys module in Python. It is not intended for general purposes, but can be useful for advanced scenarios when you need to introspect the call stack. GetFrame returns a frame object representing the current stack frame or a frame at a specified level within the call stack. Okay, so each one is, it's a level. Each frame is a level. Arguments, level optional, an integer specifying the desired stack frame level. Level 0 is default, returns the frame of the current function, the caller of sys underscore get frame. Okay. Level 1 returns the frame of the function that called the current function, grandparent. Wouldn't that be the parent? Anyway. Higher levels return frames for further back in the call stack. If level is greater than the depth of the stack and error is raised, frame object, the return frame object, local variable defined. Yep, we're going to do that. Inspecting call stack, okay. It's an implementation detail of the Python interpreter and not part of the public API. Its figure might change in future Python versions. Implementation detail of the Python interpreter and not a part of the public application programming interface. Anyway, there's usually a better way to achieve your goals without relying on systems. The inspect module provides a safer and more recommended way to introspect the call stack. So why is inspect safer? Sys-getFrame is a low-level tool for inspecting the call stack. Use it cautiously and only in specific scenarios where other mechanisms like the inspect module are not suitable. Why? I don't understand. There we go. So there's F code, F locals. This attribute is a code object representing the bytecode instructions of the function associated with the frame. It allows you to inspect the function's bytecode, but its attributes are limited for security reasons. F locals. This attribute is a dictionary containing the local variables defined within the function scope at the time the frame was created. You can use it to access the current values of the local variables. Okay, same thing. Reflects the global symbol table at that point in the program's execution. F back. This attribute is a reference to the frame object of the caller function, one level back in the call stack. Okay. F line though, okay, is an integer representing the current line number. F last I. This attribute is an integer representing the index of the last bytecode instruction. Gemini is smart, bro. I can speak like a monkey and it knows what I'm asking. I can just say, oh, so it didn't list them all. Ah. Oh, so it does... It's not file, it's file name. Well, no. F file name attribute. Well, that's weird. Okay, here we go. I was about to say. Okay, I don't... Okay. Okay, so it is the thing. It's F file name. Okay, so it's basically saying underscore get frame is an internal implementation detail and its behavior might change. So we shouldn't use sys underscore get frame. We should use inspect instead. And I gotta use the bathroom. Octopus poop looks like silly string. Okay. All right. Um. See, this is stuff I need to really learn. Well, I mean, I guess it's more of a one-by-one thing you learn. Like him saying, get at her is a lot slower than setting an attribute directly, even though they're basically like the same thing. I don't know if that's true. That's just some dude's comment, but it may be that case. There's lots of little things like that you need to learn. So, I mean, as long as it's safe right now, and performance isn't really an issue because well, we do actually append the thinking about like whenever we create logs, technically it would be faster if we determined that inspect.stack I think it's probably about the same. I mean, I could test it. I don't really feel like doing that right now though. I'll put this on things to do. We'll do inspect.stack versus sys._getFrame. So let's go to things to do and we'll put under non-pressing issues sys get frame versus inspect dot inspect.stack. Yeah, inspect.stack. Do a time it test to see which is faster. Sys.get frame or inspect.stack. It would save a good bit of time if one was faster than the other, considering how often we use this during for logging. Okay. Okay, so what's next on our list? Now I'll also put this Gemini said that get frame is not supposed to be used, and that inspect is preferred because the functionality of getFrame is not intended to be used in that manner and is subject to change upon Python updates. Yeah, so I think those are actually the only two unique requirements. So we're gonna hold on to these. And we'll get rid of that. So let's put this in a notes. Okay, so moving on to the next one. Receive side determines data acceptance. Currently, we utilize client do not send iterable for certain instances on the sending side to determine if data should be sent, but I believe it would be more proper to let the receive side make the determination instead, as the send time may not properly reflect the data which determines this decision. Not 100% sure I'm correct here. It could be the other way around, but I'm pretty confident it is the case, and we should review carefully before changing. Okay. So let's look this up. Okay, so this is for the send section, and it says if receive bool is equal to false, if adder name is equal to card group data, current game state, and none, waiting other player to draw one, current client do not send adder bool equals true. In that game state. Okay. And So what I'm proposing is that we shouldn't check for this on the send side, but we should check for this on the receiving side. And I suppose it matters then. I guess we would want to check from the side that is making the changes to game state, right? Like if game state is only changed on the server side or is only changed on the client side, well, that doesn't really relate to the receiving side or the sending side. They both send and receive. So I guess maybe we should just look at it more specifically as to what data is proposed to be sent. And that, in this case, is card group data. So card group data, in this case, is proposed to be sent, and we're checking the current game's game state to see if it's the game state's in none, waiting other player, or the draw one. Well, this would only occur, I believe, from the server side, because I'm pretty sure the card group data changes are made on the server side. Isn't that the case? That, yeah, because we don't actually modify I don't know. I'm not positive. I feel like maybe we could modify card group data from the client side. But either way, if the determining factor is the game state, then that's really what we want to focus on. Is if we check from the sending side the game state instead of the receiving side, is there any actual difference? Well, technically, the way that we are supposed to have it structured, like what we're doing right now, the way that we're structuring it is so that the receive and the send side are exactly one-to-one. There's never going to be disparity in the data between the two sides. That's the goal, anyway, for them to be identical. So I think that if we checked from the send side, Well, here's something to consider. If we checked on the send side, it would reduce the amount of data that has to be sent over the network. So it would save us time to do it on the sending side. It's it's like getting a bag of, or a book bag, and having a bunch of papers you're putting in it and then sending it to someone else. If you were to get rid of the papers before you sent it to the person, instead of giving it to them and letting them get rid of the papers, the bag is going to be a little bit lighter, because there's less in it. So it makes more sense to get rid of the stuff before you send it. I just realized I'm a damn genius for being able to make an analogy like that. But yeah, no, I think in that sense, it would be wiser to do it from a performance standpoint. It would be better to do it from the send side. And from a data integrity standpoint, I don't think there's any difference as to whether or not the game state would be correct. I mean, isn't the goal for us to not have to wonder if the game state is correct? And I was gonna say, well, then we could double check by, like, when we're receiving, we check the game state of the current game's attribute, but we also check to see if game state is being received but has not yet been applied yet, which actually though reminds me that instance would not be the case now, since we have the timestamp system, to where every single thing is going to be checked regardless of I mean, like, we don't need to check incoming data that hasn't been applied yet anymore. Because if it hasn't been applied yet, then that means it shouldn't have been applied yet. Like 100%. I mean, that's the goal, is if it's the data being applied is going to be applied in perfect order. So if the attribute of the game state is not in that list at that point in time, then we should apply the data. We shouldn't have to check incoming data that hasn't been applied yet and say, hey, wait a second, well, game state is in this received list, we just haven't applied it yet, and it would change the game state to be in this list. That would trigger us to change the do not send out or bool to true. But like I said, yeah, that's not the case anymore. So that's actually something that would need to be changed, right? Because we don't operate like that anymore. We changed this. So here's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna pause with that train of thought. We're gonna go back over here to the devlog because I forgot to add this in. Put finished adjustive. Adjustive. Finished adjusting CircuitPy main while loop to conform to unique requirements of server-side logic. And we finished that actually like 20 minutes ago. So we'll say 423. And then this is going to be 424 to whatever. Made minor improvements to main while loop and added in code to and logged unique requirement of in notes. Okay. So for this, receive side determines data acceptance. That as our current issue, and okay, so now we're going to remove logic for game state check in data not yet applied. So now let's go to the receive section. And actually, we can actually just look up game state, because I'm pretty sure that game state is the... Okay, we already took care of that, cool. So that's not even... Alright. Okay, so moving on to the next one. Ensure all data in client.change attribute list. Ensure all data excluding the earliest sent data is always transferred via current client change attribute list. Okay, so I guess this would entail going through the filtered directories and ensuring that everything is transferred. Yeah, I'm like, I think we could just do a game test for this. Real quick, is currently subject checks receive section multiple times, which assigns the objects to instead be ran one export of checks received false, so the object would be assigned beforehand and passed as an arg. I'm torn. I'm thinking about, should I do this or should I just do game testing? I guess it wouldn't take us that long. Yeah, I guess we'll just do this real quick. It'll be, you know, whatever. We'll just do this and then we'll do game testing, and I'll probably quit after that. How long have we been going? Haven't been that long. 2.5. Yeah, 2.5 hours. Okay, so we still need to go. We need to go a little further. Okay. Let us. Yeah, we'll do this. All right. So we're gonna start off at card, and we're gonna go to the filter directory. So where's the filtered directory here, man? Oh, I don't have a filtered directory, so there's nothing in card. Okay, so we'll move to the next file. Change attribute list. Oh, I was confused. Yeah, gotcha. All right, client. Filter directory. We don't have a filter. We don't have a filter directory for client. You know what, man? Shouldn't we just send the changed attribute list and not the entire client? There's no good reason to send the entire client object when we could just send the changed attribute list. It's so much less data. Yeah, is there any reason for us not to do that? Guys, I don't think there is any good reason for us not to do that. I mean, we already import the client object, so we have like the time tube and stuff on both sides. We have the ID on both sides. Online is, well, if we changed online, it would be well, online is actually only changed from the server side anyway. So that doesn't need to be transferred. Put a note here. 3024. This is only ever changed on the server side. Therefore, it doesn't need to be transferred at all. Yeah, it's not changed anywhere else, so we're actually, yeah, so we could just send the change attribute list, guys. So actually that's going to be our number one in, well, that's going to be our next task before we do game testing. But I think after that, that'll probably be, after we do this task and the one that's listed in the current issue right now, checking each attribute, I think after that we're going to do game testing. So we're actually going to try to crank up the server and the client. Yeah, so yeah, that sounds good. I think that's the way to go. Yeah, okay. So let's put this, we're going to say send only client change, and I don't know why I didn't think of that before, guys, but this is so much better. Instead of sending the entire client object, send only the client changed attribute list. It's a lot less data. It's a lot less data. Equals better performance. And then, well, no, we would still have to. We would still have to serialize the data. Yeah, we still have to serialize it. Right, yeah, you still have to serialize the data. You have to convert it to bytecode or whatever. I was thinking about like pickling. Some things can't be pickled. Different topic. Anyway, yeah, so we're definitely gonna do that. And I'm gonna put this one right under it. So there we go. Well, this would be implicit. Don't send time dict. That would be implicit, wouldn't it? Because the time dict is... Yep, so we can get rid of that one. So we finished restructuring. Let's just go through these and see if we can get rid of this things to do. Receive dir check object R. Move code that's currently inside dir check's receive section multiple times, which assigns the object. I don't know if I did that. I don't know if I actually did that. So we're gonna keep that one. Locate versus location should be located location. Location is. This maybe we should send in terms of locate as well. Yeah, we'll keep that one. FBF ABA check. Probably need to do an entire file by file adder by adder review checklist to ensure we have addressed all adders during DTM. C-line 1118 and client as well for dir check args comment with locate in it. Yeah, so run. Yeah, well, that's actually like what we're. It's actually what we're doing already. So this is kind of like a duplicate. I'll get rid of that because that's basically a duplicate. Now, perfect timestamp data application. Implement DTM restructuring to attain perfectly precise. Finish restructuring code. 1x dir check call send. Ink timestamp list rearrange. So they are structured like this. We already did that. Did that. Don't forget card ID key. Modified dir logic. Equal to none. Yeah, we took care of that. Pretty sure we took care of that. Card ID key. I'm pretty sure we changed that. Let's look at this real quick. Card ID. Okay. As long as card ID is equal to receive data 1, and then if it's 4, card ID is equal to receive data 3. So this is for receive, and this is for card group data. Party beginning card group. Card ID. Okay, so this is all like checking the card ID. And then okay, so this is for card group data. Let's look up card group data. And we're going to be looking in not there, not there, and not there, there. We're going to be looking, let's see. current card ID. Okay. So there we go. Where is this? This is in progression. This is the round. Okay, so this is in round reset. One, 2, and then we have that logic for if it's the length is equal to 2, and then we don't actually use the card group data dict anymore, do we? Okay, here we go. Okay, yeah, so that's coded correctly. I just wanted to verify that. And we're going to put our double star of approval because that is correct. And then we can actually get rid of the card group data dict, I'm pretty sure. So this we can get rid of. Don't forget to ensure that change attribute list is properly depopulated, cleared after sending. Yeah, we already did that. That's already taken care of. We already reviewed all that. Modify entire section in send sections dir check call logic so that dir check is called one time dynamically as done for the receive section. Yep, we did that as well. Research code and certified to reflect client ping. We did that. Yeah, we did that. We could modify a dir instead of. Okay. And we can modify the version. Done. Prior dir object 1 prior dict. I should really know this. Yep. Got rid of that. Got rid of that. Get out of from. Yeah, we got rid of that. And we went for item and a dir modification, got rid of that. Change client modification, got rid of that. Didn't we get we did get rid of change client, right? Let's highlight that. We'll pause right there and we're gonna get rid of this card group. Well, we're about to come to that actually in this, so we'll do change client first. Let's see. I'm pretty sure we removed that. Moving this, we no longer use change client, but I want to ensure this data is being properly transferred, deleted, deletion for removal. Oh, I see what I was saying there. Yeah, I want to make sure. But well, it would because game state is a calculated property, right? So if we def game state and yep, it would be transferred. And then progression text is same. I don't know how that. Yeah, we can get rid of that. That will be transferred. Waiting for the other player to current client time dict equals. I just want to make sure it's safe to do that right there. It's the only time we actually, and then every other time we change it by key. Oh, it's the time to. There is no such thing as. Oh, so that's a bug. It's time to. Remember? So wait, we don't actually... .417 in client. And then we check it by if time just like, how do we, if outer name is inclined to, if eval of object dot time, okay, there we go. Object dot time underscore outer name. Oh shit. So this time is so this is going to be replaced by time to oh god. Okay, so this would be changed. This would be changed. This is not correct, man. This would instead be current client dot time progression text time progression. Okay, so this would actually have to be in terms of current game. So this would be current game dot time progression text equals well, we don't have to. It's already done via the calculated property. I'm tripping. We don't have to assign that. Yeah, so we don't need this. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, we're good. I think. So change client is gone. Yep, we did all that. We did all that. We did all that. Yep, took care of that. Did it. After receiving sales and clickable card list, concluded that it may be possible to handle timestamping in terms of card groups instead of individual cards. In case that the card modification. Do that. Race conditions with timestamp values. I don't think that's an issue. Because we always change in terms of the like current game or yeah, I'm pretty sure we're safe there. If I instead of pre-send dirt check referencing the time dict time list. Instead of pre-send dirt check referencing the time dict time list, determine whether operating which instead reference change. Yeah. Yep. Update the associated code timestamp and also open details. Yep. For pre-send data modification recording to change attribute list we make seven. Dirt check be called a certain parameters. Yep. New devices that pre-send dirt check to be called. Yep, did all that. Step by step. big milestone. I'm pretty sure we removed prior, added. Yep, we did. Client side time dict object. Change all instances where the client side time dict object reference is current client instead. Change all instances where the client side time dict object is referenced is current client. We don't actually use it. That's irrelevant now because we don't use the time dict. It's now just a tuple. Rename filter ders. Rename all instances of filter dir to transfer adders. That's a fair. But I don't. We do still have filter directory. Ooh, we are almost done with this shit, bro. Look at all this I just got rid of. I love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop right here. Okay, so we're in the right branch. We're gonna go ahead and do git when we're in the right root project directory. So we're gonna get add dot for all. We can ignore those lf warnings. We're gonna do git commit -m, and we need to copy this to 5. And this is gonna be so this was 3 hours, pretty good. Not the 5 I'd go for, but it's still a good bit. I have to cook dinner. Took a nap, so it threw my time off. Okay, 11 files changed, 168 insertions, 247 deletions. Cool. Okay, so now we're going to git push Canasta secondary. And now we can go ahead and make our local backup. We close this out, go to programming, projects, Canasta, we're going to copy, and we're going to back up, we're going to go back up, we're going to back up to the backup, delete the old, paste the new, and now we're going to go in and check to see if we did it correctly. And 4/30/24 is the date, and we did that correctly. Now we're done. Alright, see you guys tomorrow.